Strawberry Jam girls, are you as excited as I am?
Yeah, I sure am. This is what I've been waiting for all week.
You know what? I'll just cut to the chase and admit that we all have zero idea what you're talking about, Rarity.
Speak for yourself. I, for one, am just as excited.
All right. Now I know for sure that you all really have no idea. Otherwise, Fluttershy would have never admitted that.
Okay, you got us there, Twilight. So what is it, Rarity?
To be honest, now that I had a few more moments to think about it, I can't really understand why I was acting so excited about this in the first place.
Are we ever gonna hear what you were talking about?
Of course, Rainbow Dash. Especially you should be thrilled that I decided to bring that up. Considering you'd be the most hyped for this release.
Hold the fuck on there. You're not seriously gonna waste even more of our time to talk about fucking
Far Cry 6?
Oh, why did I not pull the trigger this morning?
Really, Rarity? You seriously want to talk about Far Cry 6?
Oh, Pa do too. But I thought this would be a good topic to get us started, so we wouldn't have to spend the beginning of the sketch not really talking about anything.
Well, that sure as hell did work out, didn't it? A full minute in and we haven't even begun discussing.
Hey, it's not my fault that you guys aren't able to lead a normal conversation without constantly nagging and wasting time.
Says the girl whose lines are by far the longest here.
All right, then start the fucking talk already.
Okay. So, what did you all think of the game? Was alright, I guess.
I haven't played it, to be honest.
It was complete horseshit.
Huh? Now, it doesn't surprise me at all that you would say that, Fluttershy. I bet you haven't even really played it.
And your statement is solely based on the fact that it's Far Cry, and you're obliged to hate on it for that.
I'll have you fucking know that I did indeed play this piece of shit. And as I was expecting, this game didn't do anything that I wasn't expecting it to. Lame old setting, same old villain archetype, the same worn-out character templates that serve as your allies, or quest givers more precisely. Overall, Far Cry 6 did not disappoint in all the wrong ways.
You really are just full of hate, aren't you?
Oh, please, don't tell me you actually think the Castillo guy was anything new or fascinating. He was just basically pagan min without the metrosexual vibes. And also without any sympathetic character trait. He didn't even really have any nuance to his personality. He just seemed evil for the sake of it. Oh, and don't even get me started gameplay-wise. The formula there has improved since Free.
Hold on, they did add some new things to the mix.
You mean like security cams at outposts? Well, how revolutionary. It's not like Deus Ex did that back in 2011. But you know what? If I'm gonna be completely fair, there's one thing I did like about the game.
Oh yeah! I wonder what kind of cynical tease that's gonna be.
I like the secret ending, where Johnny just fucks off to America, leaving every one of his so-called allies to die. That actually made me laugh.
Come on now, there has to be something else worth noting about it. Perhaps some minor details that normal people don't even pay attention to.
You mean like the takedown animations?
Yeah, kinda like that.
Takedown? I'm sorry. Didn't you mean to say machete kill?
Yeah, just rub it in wide, aren't you?
Alright, if I'm going to be completely honest, Ubisoft did worse before. The animations were quite brutal and really bloody and gory. Well, I must say, sometimes a bit long.
That I can actually agree on.
But it's nice that you can do the throwing knife move again.
I like the fact that you could use those watchtowers and their laptops to mark objects in an outpost beforehand. Was a nice change to the usual fiddling with angles to get everything.
And at least those so-called amigos were all just animals. The way I didn't have to stomach these stupid one-liners.
You sure it wasn't because you could fantasize about yourself and guapo?
I don't know why that would be your business. But actually, what I liked most about the game was those rooster fights. That mini-game in Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Mostly because it let me forget I was playing a Far Cry.
Why did I expect anything else?
But let me tell you, there is one thing that can certainly be said about Ubisoft after this release. They really did learn from all the criticism. And the only way the company would be able to, way too overzealous.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, you know that the fifth entry in that New Dawn spin-off were heavily criticized for having a silent protagonist whose only vocal contributions would be grunts and groans.
Yeah?
Well, in 6, this Donnie Rojas doesn't ever keep his mouth shut. Literally has to comment on everything happening on screen. I swear, sometimes it felt like he would just start mumbling to himself or humming some song for no real reason, just to fill the silence. I mean, there's those protagonists, and then there's that. But well, at least they brought that dragging feature back after killing a dude that they removed in 5 for no reason.
You know, Fluttershy, I can't help but notice that despite you being the one shitting on this game the most, y'all are also the one having the most to say about it. I thought you just attested it for like 2 hours and then never touched it again.
Considering how much you seem to hate this franchise, anything else would just be illogical.
Hey, I do hate it, alright? But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't finish it. I mean, if I want to tear something apart, I have to know it inside out.
Oh, come on. Why won't you just admit that you secretly actually like the game?
Like how I do. Far Cry is a stale series and this new game sucks. Ubisoft open world games just suck in general. Who cares if it feels satisfying to play it, if outposts are still the game's defining staple and it is actually pretty fun to cause some chaos in just cause style. Games have to be morally challenging, they have to make a statement, can't just play a game simply for fun. That is such a waste of time.
You know what, Fluttershy? I think the problem is less with Far Cry, rather than just with you.
The game still sucks.
Wow, she really destroyed you now, Rainbow.
Y'all want to know what I thought was pretty neat about Far Cry 6?
Sure, go ahead.
I like the fact that they used the same voice actor for male Donnie as Alexios from AC Odyssey. On the one hand, it immediately removed any capability for this character to be anything of his own, but on the other hand, everything he said sounded just amazing.
Hey, I think this only applies to the German dub, so your statement has zero bearing on this conversation.
Perhaps, but I still wanted to have said it, because I'm just a sucker for Marios.
But honnêtement, I'm a little confused, AJ. I thought you had said that you weren't a gamer, because you had a life, remember?
I don't know what y'all's talking about. Oh, I see. So that was probably that other AJ from Equestria who said that. We traded places for some time, remember?
Yeah, that's right. So she just went back home between the sketch and our last without saying a word. Fucking nice of her.
I for one knew this all along. You don't have that same suburb aura surrounding you.
Thanks, I guess.
You know, even after having met my own counterpart, this whole multi-dimension thing is still really fucking confusing to me.
What am I to say then? I was there in that other worlds. I turned into a fucking pony.
Oh, don't make a big deal of it. Haven't we all?
I seriously hope y'all ain't referring to that pony up shit we used to do. That ain't comparable in the slightest.
Why not? I honestly see no real difference.
How about them hosts for starters? Ever woke up to the realization that your fucking hands were gone?
Well, no, but, whatever.
Nice safe, Frere.
Tais-toi.
Another thing, Twi. What are y'all looking at for all the time? Your eyes are twitchier than a rattlesnake's tail.
I'm looking for this weird robot guy, Robotus. It was about this point of the last sketch when he suddenly showed up, so I don't think it'll be much longer now.
Robotus? I ain't even gonna ask.
Brace yourselves, there it comes.
Huh? Oh no.
Holy shit, y'all.
Where?
Guys,
Phew. Never mind. It's just sunset shimmer.
what's going on? Why are you all so panicked?
You see, for a moment we feared that you might be Robotus again.
Oh, I see. Not an unreasonable reaction.
But say, Sunset, where have you been again? This is just like last time when you just joined our sketch in the middle. Why are you never here for the start?
Well, that's simply because I have to bring a new topic to the table. And that would only really make sense if I joined you guys later.
Well, she's right about that, Twi.
So what exciting news do you have for us, Sunset?
I'm not really sure if exciting is the right word for that. I honestly would rather call it concerning.
What is it about?
Well, it's about the very thing that made you jump just by me getting close. Robotus.
Please don't tell us that you just recently saw this metal piece of stupid. I thought he was going to return to Equestria.
Unfortunately, I myself did not see him again since his stupid cameo. It also hadn't left me with peace, so today I decided to head into town and investigate on his whereabouts. And I did in fact stumble upon some very telling things that assured me of his presence. Mainly, the trail of deeply confused and alienated people you left behind.
So he really is on the loose in this very town.
I'm afraid so. While I must say that despite his massive annoyance, he doesn't really harm anyone. The only thing he seems to be doing is walking up to random people and harassing them with his incoherent talking and constant telling of seemingly quotes, which I can only imagine are inside jokes. Ones that only he is in on. He would then proceed to laugh in his artificial manner and rejoice about his great sense of humor. And when, of course, nobody else would get his jokes, he would just turn around without saying another word and walk away while singing the theme song of this Nickelodeon show. My life as a teenage robot.
Thank you for giving us such an in-depth description of how this robot idiot is wasting everyone's time. But the center of what you're saying is, Robotus is still here, at this moment?
Yes, he is.
Fuck my life.
Fuck your life indeed, Twilight. Because since the portal to Equestria is by now closed again, we are stuck with this idiotic machine for a while now.
Why does this always happen to us? Does fate just hate us?
If I would have to guess, I would say, fuck if I know.
Thank you for this important contribution, Sunset.
Always happy to oblige.
You know, this was all really fun and shit, but I just realized something. I've been meaning to ask you this for a while now, Sunset.
What is it, AJ?
You know that I went through that portal a while ago to trade places with my pony counterpart. When I came to this Ponyville place, it was all hella confusing to me. And that was mainly because of the counterparts of my own family that I met there. They were so creepily identical, just as ponies. It was really nerve-wracking, honestly.
Yeah, I can understand that. I kind of felt the same when I first saw Principal Celestia in this world.
But you know, that got me thinking. Every one of us has a counterpart, even Twilight, who we didn't even know for the longest time. So I'm relatively certain that that should also have applied to you, Sunset.
Well, I guess that would make sense.
I see where you're coming from, Applejack. We've been going to the school for almost 10 years now, and for as long we have all known Sunset Shimmer, at least who she was.
What are you trying to say by that? I don't really, understand.
Well, everyone at Candlelight High remembers the time when you suddenly became the most feared bully around. And looking back, this change happened basically out of nowhere.
Well, I did have my reasons for that.
When exactly was it that you left the sequestria and came here?
Well, it was about, 5 years ago.
And when did Sunset Shimmer develop into her former bully self?
About 5 years ago.
Sunset?
I can explain this.
Do you know what became of your alternate self?
Yes, I do.
Really? And what?
Okay, before I say anything else, you have to promise me that you will take everything into consideration that we all have been through, and the person I am now. And you must understand that when I left Equestria, I was deeply consumed by my inner darkness and on a very wrong path. I do not like to look back at this time.
But why, Sunset? What happened? Did you do something bad?
Yes, I did something very bad.
Oh, I'm sure it won't be as bad as you might think it is.
You might be right about that. It will be even worse.
What did you do, Sunset?
When I arrived here, I quickly realized that this place was a human mirror of Equestria, and so that there also had to be a counterpart of me. So the first thing I did was to track her down. Once I had found her, I visited her home one evening, and when she opened the door, I jumped her. I wrapped my scarf around her neck, and I strangled her right there in the door frame. I did it because I knew I had to take her place, and I could only do so if she couldn't pull my cover anymore. And once I had gotten rid of her body, I took her place and lived her life ever since. That is the one thing that I can never forgive myself.
Holy fucking shit!
This all got real fucking dark really fast.
Yeah! I can't believe what I just heard! So you're a murderer!
I am, or more so, I was. Please remember what I asked of you. I'm no longer the person I was all of those years ago. Please don't hate me for this crime. I already do. I'm no longer this evil. Please, I beg of you, please forgive me. I know what I did was horrible, but you must believe me that it is no longer me.
Right. So I thought about all this for a moment now.
And what do you think, Applejack?
I think what you did was absolutely terrible. That was some serious psycho shit.
But I said I was.
On the other hand, I just recently visited the place you used to call home, and taking that into consideration, I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. In a word like that, you gotta go insane.
So you forgive me?
I do. You might be a murderous psychopath with blood on your hands, but you're our psychopath.
Oh, that was such a sweet thing to say.
How about y'all? Anyone opposed?
Oh, softly.
I didn't even know that other
I've
girl.
done worse.
Oh, you guys really are sweet.
Oh, we know. Now come on, y'all. Let's hear it for our little murderer. To our psychopath!
To our psychopath!
I hate you all.